Hi, I'm SJ, and welcome to Little Red Notebook's Take a Seat series, a series of short conversations with neurodiverse trailblazers, zero pity, pure wins, and zero deficit talk. In this episode, we're joined by Justine Leonard, co-founder and chief operating officer of RLA, Real Life Assistance, a bustling service that employs over 270 staff members. Justine lives with autism and Ehlers Danlos syndrome. Hi, Justine. Take a seat.
Hi, thank you very much.
Great to have you here.
Can I say we have over 330 staff now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with 67% of them with disability.
Wow. So tell us more about Real Life Assistance, because that was established, 5.5 years ago by you and your business partner,
5 years
Samantha?
ago, yeah. May and my friend, we met doing our master's degree, and she's also autistic. We were working for another organisation. We were doing an NDIS pilot, and the board, after about 3 months, decided that it was too hard. And her and I spoke to the current CEO at the time and said, you know, we've started with these people, we'd like to just do it as a bit of a side thing. And then after about 6 months, we thought maybe we can make a go of this. Originally, it was specifically around employment and getting people with disability jobs in mainstream employment. And then people would say, would you do this? We're like, oh yeah, we'll do this. And would you do this? Yes. And now we pretty much have a see a need, feel a need philosophy. So if somebody wants to work in something, we'll find a way to make it happen. We don't have I think a lot of places are quite risk adverse. We're just like, let's just try it and see if we can give it a go. You know, not everything's I'm gonna say we haven't really had any failures yet, but at some point we're not expecting that it'll always go perfectly. But you know, if you don't give it a go, how are you going to know?
So see the need, feel the need, hey?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Predominantly, one of the NDIS participants will come to us and say, I would like to try this. And we look around, and if no one else is doing that, then we create it. So we have lots of like micro social enterprises now, which also operate with the public, but they have all started because somebody has come to us and said, I would like to try this. And so we figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I was looking at your website and I saw those micro businesses that were operating. Yeah. Tell us about some of those, that you're operating at the moment.
Yep. So we've just started a commercial kitchen. We're currently providing 1,000 meals a week. We're hoping to hit 2,000 by the end of the year. We have a kiosk, so people can go and learn in there, and it actually does really quite well, and it's pretty good prices, but its main purpose is to bring people to our space and to train people how to do all the skills that you need to do in a kiosk. We have a hairdressing salon, which is twofold. It teaches people that anyone might want to learn hairdressing skills, but it's also a safe space for people to come and get their hair cut. We have a lot of people that are neurodivergent. You know, you go into a hairdressing salon, there's too many people, there's too much noise. We have a sign at the door, you know, where we could put screens up. We have these fancy mirrors that dim so that they're not bright lights. My granddaughter, who is also autistic, she gets her hair cut. You know, the hairdresser, we lock the door and the hairdresser just like chases around, you know, with a pair of scissors. There's no requirements for her to actually sit in a chair because that's not what she's comfortable with. And then it's, you know, wheelchair accessible as well. We have a laundry. So we have a free laundry service for any of our participants, because a lot of them struggle with that sort of stuff, or they may not be able to afford a washing machine. So we have 4 washing machines and 4 dryers, so they could just come here and turn up to our community space and wash their clothes and dry them. There's a dog wash, because one of our girls had wanted to start a dog washing business and she wasn't sure what to do. So we bought a dog wash to train her up, but she's decided to stay working here. car wash. I think we currently cut 354 lawns around the Illawarra now. So we have multiple teams of people doing that. And we've got the participants of marketing, admin. We work with Rekindle Me, which is another autistic man who started his own business of dismantling computers and electrical equipment and breaking the parts up and recycling them. And so now we go down and help him with his business as well. And I'm sure there's a few others. Oh, and Welcome Crew. So we have Welcome Crew. So we have a free community space that's open to anyone to come. And then we have our Welcome Crew, which are participants. They wear their Welcome Crew shirt, and they're learning how to be peer mentors and how to be support workers in a safe space. And they're identifiable. So when someone comes in, they know if they're having issues, they go to someone wearing the green shirt. But there's also support workers in there, like managing in case things get too hard. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's very busy. It's like organized chaos, but that's how my brain works. So I've got the ADHD as well as the ASD. So I'm, this side fights with this side, and the business runs the same.
I can imagine, and this is going to lead into this conversation I want to have to you about entrepreneurialism and autism and ADHD, neurodiversity. Tell me about entrepreneurialism from your side, because obviously you're a very entrepreneurial person. You have a very entrepreneurial brain. How does that serve you?
Okay, so I am very creative, but at the same time, I like rules as well. Right. So my thing is legislation. So yeah. I love legislation. But I also like finding the gray area in rules as well, because I don't think everything is always black and white. And then sometimes there are some rules that I just think are just ridiculous and nonsensical. So I feel like if you can find a way of, if I can see a good reason for a rule, I will 100% abide by that rule. But if I think that somebody's just put something in there just to be difficult, then I find a way around that while staying in the realms of legality. And I think that's entrepreneurial.
Neurodiverse clients who are considering on going into their own business and establishing their own business. What's your thoughts around that?
I think everyone should do it. You don't have, as long as you have a good business plan and a good strategic plan, and you know what it is that you want to do, like what you're getting into. I think some people don't understand what it's like to own and operate a business. But if you actually do some research into it, you are your own boss. You don't have anyone telling you what to do. You can work the hours that you want to work. Like for me, I'm pretty good in the morning. During the middle of the day, my brain goes wherever, and I often do go home and have like downtime. But then come 9 o'clock at night, and everyone here that works for me knows that I start smashing out emails between 9 o'clock and midnight. That's my report writing time. That's when I function best with writing reports and doing emails. So I just smash stuff out. Everyone knows if they get an email from me at midnight, they don't have to action it. It's just if something goes in my head, I have to write it down right there. And I think if you have your own business, you could do those things. Yeah. Whereas if you work for somebody else, that doesn't fit in with their narrative. So you're going to struggle.
How do you and Samantha support each other in that space, both being autistic?
Okay, so she's very different to me. So the reason, so she's CEO, COO. We have, when we first started the business, we were going to have the two, duo CEO. But then I went to a thing, and then I heard co-CEO, and I thought, oh, that sounds really weird. And she's more experienced in that space than I am anyway, and I didn't care. But we pretty much just took the role and divided it. Like, what are you best at? What are you best at? So we don't have traditional CEO, COO roles. They're just titles that we gave ourselves for people on the outside, because people want to talk to the CEO or the COO. So they're just titles for people that don't work in our space.
Right.
We complement each other very well. So everything we do, obviously, we make a decision together. I'm going to say we very, very rarely have differing opinions. We both end up getting to the same point from two different directions. But she's no good with legislation at all. You know, that's not her thing. And yeah, so we've just and I think because we were friends first, and I know people say you shouldn't work with friends, but we met doing so we did a master's of business, and we met even just doing our uni stuff. We sort of worked together very well. And then I worked in compliance in property valuation for like 11 years, and I got made redundant. And then she really needed someone in compliance, so she kept begging me at the last place, come and work for me, we need you, come and work here, come and work here. So I eventually did, which was a good decision. I think, yeah, we talk. We always schedule in friend time as well. Like we don't just talk business. We actually schedule in like friend lunch or friend dinner. We actually have it in our diary, friend lunch, friend dinner. So we're not allowed to talk about work at all during those times. But we just sit down and just say, I've got this idea, or I had this thought. She's also a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I flick off a message and she's responding to it person as well. But she's more of a sit in the office here during the day from 9 to 5, whereas I'm more of a go home. But our roles are different as well. Like I meet face to face with a lot of people. I can't explain it. It just happens.
Yeah. And that's interesting because when you say it just happens, it's not that you're not working at it. It's just that it has a flow, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And if you don't put too many restrictions in, you know, we've worked in a lot of, and it sounds strange because I love policies and procedures. I love them. They have a purpose, but too many places have too many policies and too many procedures. We have just what you need, and the procedures are literally what do you do, you know, and they have a purpose. I say we take calculated risks. But we are probably a lot more, I'd say we're significantly more risk adverse than any other organization. And we also, you know, how a lot of autistic people have a hyper empathy. So I'm going to say that's probably our biggest downfall in one way, but it has also been the reason why we've created what we've created. Because we can't say no to people, because it's not about making money. It's about helping people. And so I have a fixation on homelessness. It keeps me awake at night, that, you know, hyper empathy on homelessness, and I get really quite distressed by it. But she also does as well. So we've even got that whole, which is why we have the laundry and things. So we house people, and we don't just like talk and do fundraising. We actually take our money and we actually do things for people and actually make it happen and stuff. And I think a lot of other organizations, if you have boards, they'll be like, you're losing money there, but it's not about making money. It's about making sure people are safe and they have a roof over their head and they have food food in their belly and that sort of stuff. So
and that's that why not, isn't it? As opposed to why, it's like coming at it from another perspective of why not, which I'm a big fan of.
That's right. Like if you have the capacity to help someone, you should help someone. And we even come from different angles. Like even from like a spiritual point of view, we completely oppose each other completely.
Right.
But always end up at the same place.
How does your people react to that? How did they respond to that? Fluidity and that why not empathetic construct.
So there is a lot of neurodiversity inside our workplace. I feel like a lot of the people that work for us are the same. Like Sam psychologist says, like attracts like. A lot of the people that work for us are very similar to ours. And
Yeah.
and that's hard to manage sometimes. Like, one of our whole departments, every single person in that department's ADHD with quite severe anxiety. So navigating that can be very challenging. So we'll have a meeting, like, we have one person where you can't say, can I meet with you next Wednesday? Because between now until next Wednesday, she's not going to get any sleep, and she's just going to be so distressed by the time Wednesday comes around, that I will have in my calendar, meet with so-and-so, and then 2 minutes beforehand, I'll go in and say, can I have a word with you for a minute? So then she only has 2 minutes of panic, rather than a week of panic. And because it is often, it's really something really basic. Even if you want to tell them they're doing a good job, they still go into that.
Yeah.
And I think, because everyone's here they're very similar to us, so they and I'm going to say we have like a really high retention rate of staff as well. People don't leave. So because they're comfortable here. It takes them a while to actually tell us that they have a specific disability, although can I say we know, just know, but it takes them a while to feel comfortable enough, because your whole life you have to hide who you've been hiding who you are. Find out that it's acceptable to be who they are, then they just go with the flow and bring even better things to the table.
I can imagine that you, even regardless of the challenges, that you've unlocked some treasure within your people.
Yes.
What are some of the things, the treasures that you've actually noticed?
So Alyssa, the person who just delivered my food, she's our marketing manager. She is also EDS and autistic, and her children are actually participants of ours as well. She's like super creative, so she does like all our amazing like social media. When she came here, it was just like, do what you want, because my brain doesn't work that way. And so she was quite, I think I'm going to say she was quite timid at first with some of the things that she does, but now she has no trouble just dragging people out of an office and saying, hey, like, do this, and everyone does it, so I think so she's an example where she can just go and just be who she is, and she's out there and she's like really creative. This is like a really good place for her, and as a result it brings people in to us, because people go, oh, that looks like a really fun place, but it looks like a fun place because we let her do what it is that she wants to do.
But I imagine that unlocks some amazingness.
Yes. And sometimes like they do things, I'm like, I don't even know how, like sometimes I go, I don't even know how your brain got there. Like I can't even comprehend how someone would even think of something like that. But because they have a license to think about something like that, then they go with it. I mean, I'm going to say we have rules though, like
of course.
there we have some jobs and they have KPIs that they have to meet, because we are a business. But how you meet those KPIs, that's up to you.
And that's the beautiful thing of it, isn't it? You've still got to have your parameters of sorts. And what the end game is about. But what you're saying is that how you get there is up to you.
Yes. As long as you achieve what you have to achieve.
As long as you're in a safe space to do that, isn't it? It's a space where you feel free to do that, and you're supported to do that with the right tools, resources, and the support mechanisms to achieve that.
Yes, and I think people underestimate how important that is. We have one support coordinator here who's like very, very good, and she is constantly being poached by other organizations. She gets offered ridiculous amounts of money. But they don't understand that it's not always about the money. It's about what you can do, how you're treated, work-life balance, and all those things. They far outweigh money. And because here she can do what she wants, work around her children, do things. She's like, why would I go anywhere else? Because I get to do what I want, and be who I am. As long as I hit these targets, I can pretty much do what I want, be who I am. So, you know,
Yeah. It's a great lesson for other organisations out there, isn't it?
it
Who
is.
who
It
follow
is.
a more traditional method of
Yes.
operating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just let people, like, I never understand if someone's getting their work done, you know, that they're, if you tell them your expected outcomes are this,
Yeah.
and they're achieving those expected outcomes,
Yeah.
why does it matter where or how they do it? You know, I've never understood. I don't know if that's an autism thing, why, but it makes no sense to me.
I think one of the aspects from autism, from my point of view, is I look at things and sometimes wonder why that is.
Yes.
Yeah. And to me, it doesn't make sense at times. I think, why are we in that space? Why are we having, that mindset?
Yes.
Why do we have those rules? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think there is something in that. I want to digress a little bit. You have a band.
I have a band, yes. So I'm very creative. So I play 11 instruments, and I taught music for a very long time. And I started classical guitar when I was 8, and then I've been a long time. But yes, that's my I suppose my self-care is my band. It's loud, and in my band, I'm the singer, and I play guitar and piano. And yeah, we don't gig too much. Like, we're all older. We're not interested in doing what I used to do when I was younger, every Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday live gigs. I'm too tired for that. But we do about once every 4 weeks. People don't understand. It's quite funny because some people were surprised to find I was autistic, and they go, "Oh, you're so social and whatever." But people don't realize my band plays at a lot of parties. I don't have to. Okay, so I'm there, and I'm like, I'm here and whatever. And people think I'm just like really sociable because I'm there after my band and I'm singing. But they don't realize, when you're in the band, I don't have to talk to anyone.
Yes.
I'm at the party and I'm having a great time doing what I want to do, but
Yeah.
I don't have to have a conversation with anyone if I don't want to, because I'm in the band. It's like a win-win situation. You get to, because I like to go to parties,
Yeah.
but then I get really exhausted from talking to people, so it's like a win-win situation. It's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, it's great. My sister-in-law as well, she's ADHD. She goes and she cleans up, so she's there, but she's always packing things up, and people going, "No, you don't have to do that, we'll do that." But they don't realize that's her way of being there, but not
Yes.
being there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I fully understand that. The creativity is important, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
I think so. Do you know what? I don't know any autistic people that aren't creative, in whatever, in some field. Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from just being an outlet, what does music mean to you? Because you also teach music as well.
I did. I taught for 33 years. So I'm going to say music is pretty, I listen to music all the time, a very wide variety. I don't do country western, but pretty much every other genre I do. Because it changes my mood. Music literally changes my mood. And I listen to different sorts of music depending on what do I need it to do.
Yeah.
Even, this is really strange, even with my EDS, I do clinical Pilates twice a week to try and keep me, walking and out of a wheelchair. And when I see my physio, there are some days where I just can't do anything, and then he'll put on some specific songs that he knows will make me do stuff, and I can start doing these things that I can't do without the music. Like, it gives me more strength, more drive. I can lift heavier things if specific music's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I even have my house cleaning soundtrack. I cannot clean the house if those songs aren't. Music is
Yeah,
life to me. It's life. So yeah.
well, it is, I think, and I suppose with that hyper empathy, music takes on a different role, doesn't it? It feels different. Yeah.
It does, yeah. And sometimes actually it's really strange because I have a friend, because I'm a volunteer firefighter in the Rural Fire Service. And I've been doing that for like 30 something years. And one of my friends on a truck in the early 80s, where several of her fellow crew members died, including her father and her and her and one of the other blokes who survived were very severely burned. And so obviously very traumatic. And there's this song by Brad. She asked me to sing it because that's the song that she sings about her father, and she asked me to record it. And I have never been able to record it without crying, because like you take on the words and everything, and I cannot get through it because I just like feel it at my very core. And I know that's not what they wrote it about, but when I'm singing it as if it's her singing to her father, and I just can't get through it because I just take it on. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about creativity. It takes you into a journey into somewhere, doesn't it? Because of the depths that it takes you.
Yes.
What's the one treasure you discovered?
I don't know. I think the hyper empathy and working with a business has been like good. And I don't think our business would be as successful if I didn't have the hyper empathy and the need and the drive to want to help people all the time. Yeah. So maybe that's it. I don't know. It's hard to separate what's you like, because if you're autistic, even when I didn't have the diagnosis, I knew I was autistic. Like I only got the diagnosis because my granddaughter, I picked hers up very early. My son's also autistic, and one of my daughters. But when my granddaughter was quite young, I noticed it. And then I did notice that some people were a bit funny about her being diagnosed so young, and then what would it do and what would it create for her life. So I literally went and got my formal diagnosis specifically so I could show people, well, just because you're diagnosed autistic doesn't mean that you can't do things, because I'm autistic and I'm in a band and I own my own successful business and I do all these things. So what do you think having this diagnosis is going to do? How do I differentiate? Because I am who I am. How do I know what's the autistic? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think the way you've answered is wonderful. Yeah. And it does capture the essence of what we're talking about. Look, I've really appreciated it. It's been a great honor to have you on Take a Seat. I really
thank you so much. Thanks for having me. So I'm going to go become an avid listener now, because I like to hear what other people are doing.
And thanks for taking the seat, Justine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.